Good morning. Hello everyone at home. The ultimate reality, or the essential nature of everyone and everything, is being. We experience being on the inside as the am-ness of ourself, and on the outside as the is-ness of things. It is mind, that is thinking and perceiving, that divides being, seems to divide being into am-ness and is-ness, into a self and a world. But this division of being into a self on the inside and a world on the outside is only for the mind. For being, that is, for that which truly is. There is just itself. The one, infinite, indivisible, whole, perfect, complete. for the One, for infinite being, for God's being, there is no creation. Because in order to know creation, it would have to stand apart from it and know it from a separate point of view. It would have to become the subject of that creation. It would have to stand apart from its creation and know it. But being cannot stand apart from itself. Where would it go? It would have to stand apart from being. It would have to become non-being. But that is impossible. So for being there is just itself. But it does not know itself, of course, in subject-object relationship. It knows itself just by being itself. And in its experience of itself there is no world, no form, no mind, no universe, no person, no thing. Empty of objects, but full of itself. Now for the mind, the opposite is true. For the mind, the apparently separate subject of experience, there are only the objects of experience, thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, perceptions, and so on. The mind can only know objective experience because it stands as a separate subject. It cannot know the one being, although it is only that, because everything it knows is filtered through its limitations and appears in accordance with them. So when the mind looks at the one infinite, indivisible reality, it sees the world. It sees a multiplicity and diversity of things and believes those things to be real in their own right. They are, of course, real, but they borrow their reality from the one, from that which is truly real. Infinite being, God's being. So how do we reconcile these two points of view? For the one, there is no objective experience. No form, no world, no thoughts, no feelings, no sorrow. And for the mind, there is only the multiplicity and diversity of experience. Thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, perceptions, with all the sorrow entailed in that. Is there a bridge between the two? Can we get there from here? The situation would be hopeless were it not for one experience, the knowledge I am, the awareness of being. The knowledge I am, or the awareness of being, is the trace of the infinite in the finite mind. In fact, the knowledge I am, or the awareness of being, is not really in the finite mind. It is Turner's moon. It's the one part of the painting that is not covered in paint. The moon is not in the painting, it is just the white paper. It is a gap in the painting that only seems to be in the painting from the point of view of a person in the landscape. So from the point of view of the person we seem to be, the knowledge I am seems to be an experience in our mind. But it is not in our mind. It is a portal. It is the full moon. It is a gap in the mind through which infinite being shines. Of course, these two different views are not two separate realities, they are one and the same. They are just two different views of the same reality. The view of infinite being, which is no view at all, nothing to be seen or known. And the view of the finite mind, in which the infinite appears as the world. Imagine a movie in which all the characters believe that the objects and people they see around them are real as such, that is, as objects and people, that the world is real as a world, in the way it appears. But there is one character in the movie who knows that they are the screen, and who knows that everything that appears, everything and everyone that appear in the movie are the screen. This one character in the movie knows that there is only the screen, and the screen is, with respect to the objects and characters in the movie, infinite, not finite, not limited, and indivisible. There are no real boundaries between the people and things that appear in the movie. This one character knows that there is just the screen, infinite, indivisible, changeless. Nothing ever happens to it. It never undergoes change. It is never divided into parts. It never moves. Everything and everyone, all seeming things and selves, are just an appearance of that. Not just an appearance, I don't mean to put the appearance down, are an appearance of that. They borrow their reality from that. All the characters in the movie borrow their apparent reality. And the world that appears in the movie, they borrow their apparent reality from the screen, the only one that truly is. One of the characters knows this, the others don't. But it doesn't make them any less the screen. You are that one character. You are the one who knows, who feels that there is only the one, only infinite being, only God's being. By you, I mean each of us here and each of us home listening. We are that one that knows the reality, that is and knows the reality behind the appearance. And that is why, in this approach, the way of being and the way of surrender, or the way of love, is the same way. At the bottom of the mountain, these two paths are two very different paths. But as they converge on the top of the mountain, the distinction between them diminishes until at the very top they are seen to be the same path. It's the way of the one. The way of being, or the way of love, it's the same thing, because love is the recognition that we share our being, that everything is only the one infinite being. So the philosophers amongst us go the way of being. The devotees and mystics amongst us go the way of surrender or love, but it's the same way. There is only the one. character in the movie walks down the street, it experiences movement and change. Does the screen walk down the street? Does the screen go anywhere? Does the screen move or change? The screen knows nothing of movement or change. The movement and change are for the character, not for the screen. Movement and change are for the mind, not for being. When the character in the movie drives from their home to the mountains in the distance, they drive 50 miles. But the screen has no depth. What appears to be 50 miles, the space of 50 miles for the character in the movie, has no dimensions for the screen. The time and space that seem to be real from our point of view, the time and space in which our lives seem to occur, are unknown to being. The dimensions of time and space do not exist for being, and therefore there is no medium in being within which movement and change could take place. Movement and change require time and space. Being is without dimensions. It is infinite, eternal. Infinite doesn't mean extended forever in space. It means without space, without dimension. Eternal doesn't mean everlasting. It doesn't even mean now. Now is if by now we can consider a moment in time. Being is eternal, of no dimensions. not in time. Don't try to understand this, just let your mind be dissolved by it. If not dissolved, at least brought to its knees. Brought to its knees in utter surrender.